All right. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. So today I'm going to talk about something which ServiceNow recently released. So they have released till now two white papers. One is related to AI security and data handling, and another is responsible AI. Data handling one they released like few weeks back, so released Australia, and another was responsible AI, which was released last year. So and this white paper basically tells us everything that we want to know about how ServiceNow is handling all the data that is going into ServiceNow AI. So this is a huge paper, as you can see. So there are a lot of pages over here, and there are different. So what I did, I thought that let's go deep into it and find out what is happening behind the scenes. And it is not my surprise. I think ServiceNow is a very big company, and it is answerable to so many people, and it is being used in government and financial sector and critical healthcare. So they are handling, in my opinion, they are handling the data pretty well. And if you are building your own like architecture, you can learn from it. And if you just want to know that how ServiceNow is handling, I think. As an AI architect myself, I was very interested in knowing that, and because then only, if I'm confident, then only I can tell anyone that yeah, sell that to someone, right? Okay, so what we are going to see in this section is basically, as you can see over here, we have a lot of. So I've extracted all the information which I thought was relevant when to understand how AI products of ServiceNow is using the data of ServiceNow instance. Okay, and how they are governing it. And it is not just AI ServiceNow; it is also Moveworks and Vesa. So the table that first we are going to talk about how the data handling is happening in ServiceNow, where it is getting processed, and is it like getting processed within ServiceNow or outside of ServiceNow? If outside of ServiceNow, what, where? And the next part would be the AI control tower. What really, how really AI control tower can help us, and about the now assist handling. If like in terms of if there are a lot of traffic, which is called bus processing, what happens in those cases, like edge cases over there, and agentic AI control, because this is something which is not only getting the data but actioning on it. So when an agent is like doing performing an action, what is really means, who, which permission they are taking. So are they taking some humans permission, delegated permission, or their own permission? What is happening then? We will talk about machine learning and AI search as well, and why that is important. Next, we will talk about how the movers is handling the data, and last would be the visa. Okay, so it will be a long video, and whatever you are interested in, you can just check that part from the video. All right. So what I've done, I have created notes because the whole document is very big. So I've created notes on what I thought was important. So let's go on the notes. All right. So let's just check from here. So the first part is foundational data handling and security principles. So this is like the initial part. That I've highlighted this part, that ServiceNow is actually part of AI Alliance, and is actually a founding member of AI Alliance, which is also part of Meta is also part of it, IBM, and there are multiple others. Now, why this is called Secure AI? Now, why I've highlighted this part is because this proves that. And also they have this AI management certification and ISO, which over here, which proves that what ServiceNow is doing is actually means saying about their data handling part is certified by this AI management certification. So they are not just saying it; they have been certified. All right. So that is the first part. Now the second part is. So basically, the certification checks the following, like AI system lifecycle from initial concept and to the deployment, last part of it. All right. And then there is a responsible AI framework, so which ServiceNow is following. It's called NIST. So it's a risk framework for which is very important, and ServiceNow is already following it. Okay. Now, moving on, that how exactly is the data foundational data handling is happening. So first thing that they wanted to like explain, and I will show it over here as here. Yeah. So customer controls all the data, like means everything that is going is like to ML model or RAG, or everything is controlled by access control, basically ACL. And so all the new products even have those same layer of security. Data. Next part is the most important part, that data gets deleted as soon as the information, I mean, the processing happens. So suppose there is an AI model. So let's say AI model is here, and if we, so let's just send some data, and we got the response. So everything, the whole thing is happening in memory. All right, means temporary memory basically. And because it is happening in memory, so as soon as the response is sent to the instance, the data and response, everything gets deleted. All right, so nothing gets saved. I mean, no, like ServiceNow is not saving data and response, any of that in their own data center. All right, so that is that. And the data that is being sent is so this data is going, so AI model do not is not present in ServiceNow instance. All right, so AI model is present in a different locations. We will talk about those locations. So there are 4 locations, but now we can just consider it as a SN data center. All right, so AI model is present in SN data center. So the data is being moved from your ServiceNow instance to the SNDC, and this thing is encrypted with TLS 1.2. Okay, and this is very strong encryption. The latest one is TLS 1.3, but this is also very strong encryption. So this is happening. And the last part was again that data is not persisting, and as soon as the result is returned, data gets deleted. Okay, so this was about the foundation data handling and security principles. Okay, now the next thing is AI control tower. What is AI control tower and what actually it does? So primarily what it does, there are different ways of it. So first is the asset visibility. First, you need to identify that how many AI related assets you have in your system, you have in your firm. So like models, prompts, data set, AI asset. So model, prompts, data sets, AI asset, AI systems, and relationship between them. And so ServiceNow already does this kind of thing where we discover stuff and creates and adds it in our system in CMDB, and creates a relationship out of it. And that is what is happening in this area. So there is an automated discovery which can be used to identify these items and put it in the CMDB for better visibility. And that is, yeah, automated discovery. Now right now what ServiceNow is supporting is ServiceNow AI Platform. So if you have any of these in ServiceNow, obviously you will get everything discovered. Next is a hyperscaler environment like Azure or AWS provide the virtual environment where you can process or like do a process, any type of process, AI processing. You can run a model or those type of things. And on-premise system, suppose you have a GPU and a server, and you are running everything. You have a system, a chatbot running locally. Then ServiceNow can also discover those. So this is the AI asset visibility. The second part was the lifecycle management. Now it is good to have a visibility across, but what happens, like who can create new items, who can, so we need, like, somebody needs to govern it, right? And somebody needs to approve it, that yeah, somebody is creating new items. So like those are approvals, workflows, policies and controls, like somebody can create, or if um, how to discard it properly, how to archive it. So those things can be also like managed using AI control tower. And obviously once something is operational and live, the observability is becomes very important, like to understand how many chatbots are running in the system. This is the most important, because if something is using an old system and nobody has visibility over it, can become kind of an issue in the future. So continuous monitoring. Then it AI control tower also like connects your AI agents or AI systems with risk and compliance. So it can help with the policy enforcement, and across AI state. I love the word AI state because it really represents everything that you have related to AI in your firm. So yeah, it can help basically connect governance and policy, GRC, with the systems that we have. All right. For asset visibility, I'll just show it over here. Yeah, asset visibility, lifecycle management, and compliance and control. And it is a unified inventory of AI models, prompts, dataset, AI system relationships, which is detected by automated discovery using SN platform, hyperscaler from these platforms, basically. And after the deployment, health, performance, and compliance can be monitored. And so basically it provides identified gaps and like establishes governance in your AI, so AI systems. Okay. And yeah, obviously it helps a stakeholder take informed decision, and this is what the whole thing is. Now moving on to the next part. So is and because so why we talked about AI control tower, I just want to like briefly mention this thing while we are talking about data handling, because AI control tower is already helping the firm to establish more control and governance on your AI systems. And when you are building these things in ServiceNow pretty much already gives this offering that you can use it to better govern and secure your own systems in ServiceNow. So that's why we talked about this in the middle. Now moving on to the next part, which was actually the most important part, is where our data is actually going. Because the most important part is we know that when so if I'll talk about this thing, that user submits a request, request to AI model. Now this part is inside ServiceNow, but this part, model itself, is actually can be any of these four. So what it means that the request is going outside of ServiceNow instance to any of these four places. Now I will talk about these places. So first is a ServiceNow co-location data center. So it is like your ServiceNow instance. ServiceNow instance itself is hosted in some data center, and the co-location data center is within that location, another data center which is holding the AI model. This is the most secure way because ServiceNow is anyway handling all your data in that data center. So that means the request is going to within the same data center or nearby data center. So this is the most secure, I would say. And yeah, highest direct control on inference hardware operated by ServiceNow inside ServiceNow control data center. All right. Next is hyperscaler, ServiceNow control compute. Now this is so the hyperscaler is basically Azure or AWS. And so what so inside a hyperscaler environment, so the whole environment is actually means bought by ServiceNow and is maintained by ServiceNow. And what they are running over there is actually so the compute is sold by Azure and AWS, but the model itself is running means the handling and managing is happening by ServiceNow. So this is how this is happening. Now this is service endpoint is a managed AI service. So this is a tenancy, like as you can see over here, ServiceNow hyperscaler tenancy. That is a managed AI service. So even the model and everything that is being running, that is running on this hyperscaler environment, is maintained by Azure or AWS. Like for example, maybe AWS Cloud. So that can be this, or now LLM running on Azure. This can be this one, but mostly I think non. I cannot say for sure. Now LLM I think runs on the data center, but anyway. So this is a shared responsibility. So this is that. And the last one is you can so ServiceNow also provides an option that you can bring your own LLM. And like if you have a local means LLM, very restrictive LLM for your own firm, and you have your own GPU or you have your own tenancy or hyperscaler environment, you can connect it with that. So And here I've explained pretty much the same thing, and that um, there is a co-location hyperscaler and call to AI service using a hyperscaler tenancy, and you can bring your own model. Now, where your data is going to fall on depends upon multiple things, like which region you belong to, and what is your subscription model. Then configuration chosen. So if you have specifically chosen that I want to run something like in country, then then you will can get like co-location or something. And yeah, for now, just in country is also available, which is the same thing. uh, so this is actually the hyperscaler environment service now rents. Yeah, it's the same thing I explained, like what is the difference between hyperscaler tenancy and what is the hyperscaler environment. And this is like a managed AI service. And this is so they provide the compute and GPU and VM, and ServiceNow does the whole like which model to run and everything. And now there is one interesting point over here is automatic abuse detection. Now automatic abuse detection is something that is disabled for every model. So now Google Gemini, Azure OpenAI, both of these do not do abuse detection. So they don't do abuse detection. What is abuse detection? So if somebody is requesting and there is a toxic prompt injection or something role playing or something harmful in the request. So if user is requesting something like that, then abuse detection can flag those things. So flag it basically. That model means so that they can block the request, such type of request, or log it that somebody tried to hack the system or something. And because ServiceNow does that automatically, so ServiceNow says that why it means, so they stop other tenancy like Azure and Google to not do it, but AWS still does it. So now what does it mean that AWS does the abuse detection? It means that AWS may be getting notified if there is an abuse in the request. Okay, abuse of AI model basically. Now that notification can be like a number that there was one such request or two such requests. So maybe still there is no data sharing because ServiceNow like very straightforward says that there is no data sharing with any other Azure or Google or AWS. So they very strictly like agree to that. So I don't think there is a data sharing which is happening over here. So maybe they are just AWS is getting notified with the numbers that this is how much um, abuse means if there are such type of prompt injection or such type of toxic things are happening. All right. Now now we will talk more about the third party models, like what type of so yeah. So what is actually what type of contract we have for third party model? So yeah, here there is Azure AI service, Azure OpenAI, Google Gemini, and Anthropic Claude. Okay, so these are the three four four type of models, but three companies which does the um, AI model, which where ServiceNow is sending data. Now, and they adhere to all these things very strictly. One is inference only. So data transfers to the provider only to process the call. Input outputs are processed transiently and deleted from the. So as I explained earlier, when the request goes in and a model checks it, processes it, and provides the response, the request and the response gets deleted. Okay, so and this is what the inference is structured. It's in memory, nothing gets stored. Next thing is no training on your data. So third party is contractually prohibited from using ServiceNow customer data for model training or fine tuning. So they are not supposed to train on your data. Well, they are not storing anything, so they cannot train anyway. And this is what I was talking about, abuse detection. That abuse detection is disabled for all third-party LLM services except for AWS, as per the policy. publish policy. And because the data is going from your ServiceNow instance to these third-party instances, third-party places like AWS or the four places I talked about earlier, um, everything is like encrypted with TLS 1.2. So over here at minimum. So some of them, because TLS 1.3 is the latest one, so 1.2 is what is happening, right? Means minimum. Maybe some of them are 1.3 and so, and the same thing is written over here as well. They cannot keep it, learn it, or share it. So everything gets deleted. They cannot keep it, learn it, or share from it. Got it?